welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Y'all, before I get started, I just want to say, if you ever get the opportunity to go to Creating Change Conference, I am going to insist that you all do it. It is by far the most amazing conference that I go to every year. It was in Las Vegas this year. You saw Nick and I out there doing our thing. But this is a conference that highlights all aspects of queer life, and it is about nonprofits and the grassroots people and the people that are actually out here doing the hard work. I had a great week. I had a chance to sit on a panel with Nicole, which you would think after as much time we just spent together in politics that we would have both done this already, but it didn't happen. This was the first time. So we sat on a panel talking about what it is to run for office and all the good things. So even though the crazy orange douche is now supposed to be the president of the United States, there was still some joy and happiness amongst us queer folk. And I'm starting to understand why they don't like us so much, because we just feel full of joy. Like, we are just so happy to be us, no matter how hard they try to shame us or judge us, or maybe because they're just simply repressed. We are out here having a good time. We are enjoying who we are in life, and they just don't like it. That's pretty sad, ain't it? It's pretty sad when you are walking around the world just mad because somebody don't do and be repressed like you are. But we got a lot of people running around here wanting one set of Americans to be a certain way. And if you don't do it our way, then there's something wrong with you. I'm going to need all of y'all to get over yourselves. I don't understand why you don't understand that people are allowed to be who they are, the way they want to be. And as long as I'm paying taxes, damn it, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. Come join the party. But let's get into it, because, you know, there was a lot that went on. So if we talk about what's going on at the State House, and if we talk about all the things that are going on at the national level, and if you find yourself doom scrolling just a little bit too much, I understand. And you have to go find that joy, because there's a lot of crazy out here in this space. I mean, you got Trump signing crazy executive orders. You know, he's signing one today for more school choice and wants to end funding for schools that support what the White House calls radical indoctrination. Okay, what is radical indoctrination? Is radical indoctrination telling me that if I'm Jewish, I have to study the New Testament of the Bible? Or if I'm Muslim and I have to study the Bible at all? Is radical indoctrination pretending that American history didn't actually happen and we can't teach the Trail of Tears? Or that we won't celebrate Black History Month and all of our great Black leaders in the country? Our scientists, we just want to erase all. Is that radical? Oh, that's not what they talking about. My bad. That's not what they talking about. They don't want us to know about what we really be doing out here. It's okay though. He signed action saying we're going to end gender affirming care. The dude is crazy. He doesn't understand science, saying that there's only male and female and it's about eggs and testes. And bro, I'm to all my intersex people out there in the world. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's stupid. He just doesn't know that gender comes in many variations, because gender's not black and white. It's just not black and white. I know that people want it to be black and white, but it's not. There's several variations. And you just because you sign a piece of paper does not make intersex people go away. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Some of the scariest things is that he's wanting to build detention camps at Gitmo. How many times do we have to go through history with detention camps? How many times do we have to do this before we realize that that's inhumane? To put people in cages for just trying to have a better life? I get it. I know y'all want people to come through and do the immigration the right way, but y'all only going after the brown people. I ain't seen nobody raiding, Little Italy. I ain't seen nobody do that. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's some illegal Europeans here. There might even be some illegal Canadians. I don't know. You can't tell me that it's only brown people that are coming in here illegally. So the idea that we're going to build more detention camps and lock people up. But I did think it was funny that Mexico was like, nah, you're not landing your planes here. Beat it, chump. Sis was like, we're not doing that. Land your plane somewhere else. So at least there are some leaders in the country that are actually trying to push back on the crazy, right? What else we got? Well, if we talk about what's going on in the State House, little Trump, Governor Mike Braun, right? He's been signing his executive orders. He's out here saying that we're going to send our National Guard to help ICE. I pray that there are no national disasters while we out here rounding up people. What is this thing about going into schools and traumatizing and terrorizing children? What is that all about? I thought we wanted to protect kids. Not these dudes. They're not interested in protecting kids. They just want to just scare people to damn death. Hey, so did you guys listen to the State of the State last night? I kind of did. I listened to the whole thing. And there were some positive things in there. He's talking about bringing down healthcare costs. Now, I'm not exactly sure how he plans on bringing down healthcare costs when most of his donors are in the healthcare industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm certain that they don't want him cutting into their profits. So I don't know how he's going to get away with that one. Obviously the big thing was taxes and cutting property taxes. Look, I get it. If your property taxes are gone up so high and you're on a fixed income and it makes it difficult for you to make them, I get it. But there are other ways to bring down your property taxes without gutting, local government, because all of your property taxes go to local government, right? So, maybe we should stop having all of these outside corporations purchasing properties that make the property tax go up. Maybe we ought to have affordable housing that, stabilizes, property taxes, which I find interesting. You have all these outside corporations that, buy these homes and they rent them out, and now they're going to get tax breaks, but nobody is talking about what we're going to do for the renters who are in these homes. Nothing. And then, of course, white mediocrity is on full display. Everybody wants to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I know a lot of people don't seem to understand who is all included, but it's easy to say, it's easier for me to outline who would not be included if they did the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's able-bodied white males who are cisgender and pretty much Christian. Everybody else falls under DEI, and DEI is not about promoting people who are unqualified. It is about giving qualified people an opportunity to compete. And I got an opinion about that. I am of the belief that white men know that they ain't all that special no more. Like, they know that they're just average. They're just mediocre. and that you may find someone who is a Black queer woman who could do their job better than they can do it. So they don't want to compete anymore. Oh no, we just want all the power, all the money without actually having to compete for it. That's what's happening. And if you think it's anything other than that, prove me wrong. But you won't be able to. I mean, for example, we have a bill in our state house, Senate Bill 235, and this bill describes, it's trying to make all government agencies get rid of their DEI, but they go even further, right? They go even further. They have a list of 15 banned phrases. Now check this out. These are things that government agencies would not be able to say. Unconscious or implicit bias, cultural appropriation, allyship, transgender ideology, microaggressions. First of all, this list is a microaggression. Group marginalization, anti-racism, systemic oppression, because of course that ain't a thing. Social justice. We can't talk about social justice. Intersectionality. Well, I am literally a prime example of intersectionality. I am a woman, I am Black, I am queer, and I am left-handed. I'm a lesbian and I'm left-handed. But we don't talk about that. Neopronouns, heteronormativity. They put that one in there because they really don't want to, it's too much for them. There was too much for their brains, and their brains just exploded on that one. Disparate impact. Okay, wait. We're talking about disparate impact. So do you think that there's a disparate impact of sickle cell anemia on Black people than on the rest of the population? Oh, no, don't say that when you're in the medical field and you're at a government funded hospital, a state hospital, because you can't talk about it. Gender theory, racial or sexual privilege, or any related formulation of the concept under clause. You gotta be feeling some kind of nervous in your life if you can't say these phrases, if you have to ban phrases. But mind you, the Orange Menace just passed another executive order, proclamation, or whatever it is, affirming the First Amendment. So how do you have one portion of your government affirming for the First Amendment and free speech, but then have another portion of your government literally create a bill that strips words, languages, literally? They're talking out of both sides of their neck. They are talking out of both sides of their neck. I don't get it. So, guys, this is where we are. We are in a time where crazy time, Twilight Zone. And I get it. It's frustrating. There's a lot of bills out there. And I'm actually, I know the Republicans were disappointed that the Black Caucus didn't go listen to the State of the State. They could do like I did and watch it on YouTube. Didn't miss nothing. Because he just recited his campaign speech again. They were disappointed, but I applaud them for stepping out and saying, you just took away DEI, which ensures that people who are qualified, regardless of their demographic, have an opportunity to compete. They don't like that. And so we were down at the State House. In fact, I was at the State House for 2 days because it's my house. I pay for it. State House is your house too. So yesterday I was at the State House to protest the cancellation of DEI initiatives. And the day was Gay Day. Oh, I love Gay Day at the State House. ACLU, Trinity Haven, IYG, Gender Nexus, all the amazing organizations that are out there affirming who we are. Poor Senator J.D. Ford. We are trying to get you some help in that State House so that you don't have to be the only gay person in there fighting for us. But we got some amazing allies and Representative Campbell, Senator Yoder, Senator Hunley. A lot of these folks are fighting for us in the State House. You can't erase us. We've been here long before the Constitution. That was what I loved about going to Creative Change. Yeah, I'm backing up a little bit. It celebrates the diversity of our queerness. Like on that first night, the first plenary was just elevating Native Americans and talking about two spirits. So the Native Americans who were here before the Europeans saw gay people as they were considered sages and gurus, and they were amazing spiritual people because they can embody both the male and the female and see things differently. But these Europeans, these people of European descent, if it ain't like them, something wrong with you. And that's wrong, y'all. And the other thing I hope that we, in this time of whatever, that we remember that, we're Americans too. We're Hoosiers too. And we have a right to exist as we are. We have the right to say and do what we need to do for our families. They're not that special. We exist. And by golly, I pay taxes. And I would like my taxes to go to public schools, not, one of the things about the governor's State of the State speech, he had the audacity to say that municipalities are going to have to do more with less. And if you took that philosophy all across the different platforms, I could get with you. But you are literally taking tax dollars and giving it to the wealthiest families to send their kids to private schools when they weren't going to send their kids to public schools anyway. They just weren't going to do it. But how come you aren't asking them to do more with less? You're saying, hey, you can do more with more. And think about it. Most of these private school tuitions are so high, the voucher dollars that you get will not cover the full tuition. So everyone still doesn't have access to it. And there's another bill on the House floor right now saying private schools should have access to public transportation. The public transportation we pay for public schools. Give me a break, y'all. How come wealthy people can't do more with less? Why they get to keep getting more while our schools are suffering, while our communities are suffering? But you know what? Marion County, we actually have a decent tax base. We sure do. Where there's not a great tax base? In these shrinking rural counties. So these municipalities in these rural counties that have a shrinking tax base and they're going to cut property taxes, that means these localities have even less to work with. Unintended consequences of voting against your interests. It just is what it is. And I find it incredibly unfortunate that people don't recognize how terrible things are going to get. Oh, by the way, eggs are still expensive as hell. Egg prices, high. Groceries, high. Tariffs about to be high and everything else is about to go up. These people don't care about you. We are watching, we've seen this period in history before. And see, that's why they don't want you to learn about it. See, there was that depression in 1893, right? When, the Southerners lost all their free labor. And then there was this bull weevil thing that hit and the farmers lost their money and their crops and they went broke. And then there was another depression, 1929. In that instance, it was the robber barons. We've seen all this before. We see what happens next. Once you start consolidating all of our wealth in one singular location, it will eventually collapse and we will find ourselves in economic distress. But I hope y'all okay. Hope you saved up some coins. I'm trying to save some coins. I don't have enough for 10 years. I know that. But you're going to need at least that much. You need to save enough money to be able to live in your house, buy groceries, buy gas. Because if you work for the government, you going back to work. You getting in your car and you're driving back to work because everybody wants y'all to get back in them offices. You know, forget about how much money those office buildings save in utilities by having you work at home and how productivity is actually higher from people who are working at home. Forget about all that. Take your behinds back to work. Get your behinds back in there. We're living in tough times, y'all, but we got to stay resilient. I'm in the fight. I'm a part of the resistance movement. I'm in this for real because, you know, it's in my DNA. It's in my DNA to survive crazy. It's in my DNA. I ain't supposed to be over here. This is where the boats just dropped us off at. I'm supposed to be someplace warm on the continent, taking advantage of their natural resources without being exploited. I'm just saying. Look, Hoosiers, it's tough right now. They're coming after us, guns a-blazing. And here's the thing. We told you about it. Myself, Mary, and Mark Gavard, we told you all about it. We told you all about it in Project 2025. We told you where it was already being implemented. So you shouldn't be shocked or surprised. We told you. But you know who's going to be hurt the most? People who are differently abled, our transgender youth who can't get care. You know, I hate to see what's going to happen to young people who can't develop the way they feel like they need to develop without the government coming after them. Black people are going to suffer because now that we've got rid of DEI, you know, does that mean that, you know, minority business programs are going to go away? Did you guys see where Stephanie Rule talked about, you know, all these attorneys lost their offer letters because of the hiring freeze? This is crazy out here. So now you got all these young professionals who thought they were going to get a job in the government. They're going to be hurt. That means the next generation, we hear millennials and Gen Zs talk about, yo, there's nothing, we can't do nothing out here. Now you got a whole nother generation that's going to be struggling and saddled with a lot of student loan debt. What are they going to do? Because, you know, the whole plan was you work 10 years in government, we'll forgive those loans. Now they don't have those jobs. People are going to suffer. Elon Musk told you, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. I just hope you're ready for it. But if you're not sure what to do and you're in your feelings and you're still trying to figure it out and suffer and struggle, you know, watch Black people. Watch what we do. Watch how we handle ourselves. We know what this is all about. We've seen this before. We've lived it. It's in our DNA. But if you really want to fight, let's fight. We got to, look, now's the time to organize. 2025 is the time to organize. We can get ourselves together. We can get our crew together. We can do our thing. We can start organizing right now. Find what you do best and take it to it and find what your passion is and find an organization that you can help out. And that's how you network with people. And you find out that Sally's doing this and Jamal is doing that. And then you'll be like, well, I know someone over here is doing this. You organize. Think about it. What if, oh man, I think about it all the time. What if, you know, SCLC, SNCC, the Black Panthers, and the Muslims had kind of just organized a little bit better instead of letting the FBI infiltrate and tear them apart? Did I say that? Yes. Man, that's what they were afraid of. A united class of people coming together, working for a common good. Well, that will mess up their big money grab. They don't want you to organize. So now's the time to do it. So one of the things that I'm going to highlight to you tonight, because I don't have a guest, but I had a chance to talk to Dana Colbert, who is the executive director of our state Democratic Party. We're talking about organizing. Well, the state party is about to go through a reorg. So I'm going to play this so you guys can listen to Dana and I, who we talked earlier about what a reorg is, how it works, and all that good stuff. All right, here we go. Hey guys, I got a special here for you. I have the executive director of our state Democratic Party here to talk to us about reorg. I know you guys have heard the term out there. I know you heard people talking about it, but what is it? What does it mean? Well, one thing you should definitely know is that the first week of reorg is March 1st. And then the second week is March 8th. And the third week is March 15th. But we're going to break down, Dana and I, the Danas, the cooler Dana, is going to break down what is reorg and how you need to be involved. Dana, thank you for taking some time out to talk to Turn Left listeners as the executive director of our state party about reorg. First, explain how important reorg is to the work that we do as the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and thanks, Dana, for having me. I'm really glad that I get this opportunity to educate folks a little bit more about reorg. So reorg is incredibly important because that is when we choose our party leadership for the next 4 years. So some state parties have it during the same or similar times. Some state parties have it at different times. Some of their terms are longer or shorter, but we do this every 4 years after the presidential election to restructure our party and take us into those next 4 years, rebuilding this year usually, and then we jump into elections for the next 3 cycles.
So I mentioned earlier that the first week of a 3-week process is on March 1st. What is the first week of reorg?
So March 1st is when we do our elections of our county chairs. Now, the people who elect our county chairs are precinct chairs and vice chairs, and you had to have been appointed by today at noon. So that deadline has passed, but those precinct chairs and vice chairs are the ones who elect our county chair, our county vice chair, our county secretary, and our county treasurers for all of our 92 counties.
So where do people find who are running for county chairs? How do we know who they are? How do the precinct committee people know who they are?
So it depends. Oftentimes, the people who are running for county chair will put the information out there publicly. If the outgoing county chair does have a filing deadline, for example, then we'll know at least 10 days prior to that. And then that information should be communicated to the voting members as well. So really it is, if the person who wants to run for the county chair wants to put that information out, great, all the better. Encourage that so that people know what's going on. And then they also are able to reach out to the precinct chairs as long as the precinct chair list is shared with them.
So we mentioned that the voting body were the precinct chairs and the vice precinct chairs. If you are not a precinct chair or a vice precinct chair, could I be able to reach out to my precinct person and say, hey, who is my person? And where would I find that? Is that someplace that the county party holds?
Well, yes, you can reach out to your precinct chair and vice chair. Reach out to your current county chair, which we do have a link on our website to get that information on how to contact them, and they can get you in touch with your precinct chair or vice chair.
I am a PC, so if you know your district and if you're in my district, reach out to me. If you got something that you want me to share in the meeting, let me know. All right, so what is the second week? On March 8th, what is the second week of the reorg?
Yeah, so March 8th is when the county chairs and vice chairs then elect our district chairs, vice chairs, secretaries, and treasurers. So those are by congressional district. So if you are interested in getting that input, then definitely talk to those county chairs after they are elected. And our district chairs are also part of that voting block who selects our next state party chair.
And that would be done on the 15th.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of names floating out there. We're not going to drop any names because no one has Well, okay, wait, I'll do it. We know for sure Destiny Wells, we know for sure Jennifer McCormick, and we know for sure Karen Talion, and we know for sure Derek Camp are people interested in running for office as the state party chair. The district chairs will then kind of, you said, coalesce around and kind of hear out. Is there like a speech process? What happens there? When does, on the 15th, when they all get together, what happens?
Yep. And so we have, obviously we'll have a lot of interest into this. 3 of those 4 candidates that you mentioned have officially put out publicly that they are going to run. One of them has been in the news about whether or not she's going to run. But so anyone who is interested in running for state party chair, we do have a process that is on our website on how that will go. So you will need to declare your candidacy by noon, March 7th. Noon Eastern.
Wait, are you telling me that anybody could go to our NDEM's website and they could fill out the documentation to run for state party chair?
Yes, and honestly, there's very little documentation. We make it pretty easy for you. We just need to know that you want to run, and you need to send it to the correct people. Make sure that we all know it is the chair, the outgoing chair, the secretary, and myself. You can email it to us. If you would like to send it via U.S. mail, you can do that as well. Or you can stop by the office and make an in-person declaration.
This is huge. I don't think a lot of people really understood that if you have the capability of organizing, fundraising, and galvanizing and building relationships, and you're out here complaining about what the party is and ain't doing, you literally can run for state party chair. Now, is this a paid position?
Yes, it is paid, and it is more than a full-time job.
It is definitely more than a full-time job, I can guarantee, which is why I think I ran for state party chair for 2 weeks. I was like, what? So that is inspiring news to know. Now, there's also a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer for the incoming new state party chair. If you're interested in running for any of those other positions, can you find that information on the website as well?
Yes, the process for that is largely the same. The only caveat with that is that in our state party rules, the chair and the vice chair have to be different genders. So if you are interested in running for vice chair in particular, you can definitely run on your own. But if one of those candidates that we named for chair is interesting to you and you are of a different gender than them, then you can reach out to them and see if they are interested in running as well.
And just as a note, all of the chairs and vice chairs at the county, district, and the state level have to be opposite genders. And we want to make sure that we clarify what that means. That means either you identify as male, then your vice chair would be female. If you identify as female, then your vice chair would need to be male. But there is one caveat that we as Democrats recognize is that we have non-binary individuals who also may want to run for chair or vice chair. If you are non-binary, it can be a male non-binary, female non-binary, and if I'm not mistaken, Dana, it can be a non-binary and non-binary in the chair and vice chair?
I would have to double check that, but I believe that is accurate. So don't quote me on that.
Don't quote us on that one. We'll check, and by the time I do the live show tonight, I'll have the answer to that. I think this is incredibly valuable information because, Dana, like you, I hear a lot of people talking about what is the party going to do next? Who is going to run the party? Here is an opportunity. You have all the way up until, you said, March the 7th?
Yes, March the 7th at noon.
At noon, if you want to have a significant impact on the direction of our party, you too, yes, you retired executive, you young person who is looking to energize and bring the progressive movement, whatever it is, you have the opportunity to run. Now, there's some work that's involved. And Dana, you will agree with this. You would encourage anyone who is interested in running for chair or vice chair or secretary or treasurer of the party to reach out to precinct committee people, to the new county chairs that are elected, to the new district chairs who are elected. So there is some work that's involved. We're encouraging you to do it. But if you ain't willing to do that work, then you ain't ready to do the work of running a state party.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I would also add the constituency caucuses are also part of that voting block. So not only reaching out to our party structure at the county and district level, but also reaching out to our constituency caucuses and hearing their thoughts and ideas.
And so the constituency caucuses are?
Those are IDAC, which is our Democratic African American Caucus. That is Indiana Young Democrats. That is the College Democrats. The Latino Democratic Caucus, that is Labor Caucus, the Women's Caucus, and which one? And Stonewall. And Stonewall. I left the best for last. I know there's 7, and I always do it in a different order.
I was going to say, wait, I was the president of Stonewall. How you gonna forget that? No, she didn't forget. She didn't forget.
I didn't have it in front of me, so I couldn't check it off while I was going.
I thought you did good. I thought you did. I thought you did really well. And please speak to the significance of those caucuses and why we actually have them and why they have a vote.
Yeah, so the caucuses, as if you were listening, and you can also go on our website and see, traditionally those are voices that are underrepresented at a variety of levels. So we want to be able to elevate their voices. We really value their voices. And obviously our siblings in labor, we also want to elevate their voices too. So constituency caucuses really are a way and an opportunity to elevate voices that may not traditionally be heard.
I love that, because one of the things I think people forget, it is going to be hard to find an African American in some of our counties, right? There just aren't any, right? Or there's not any Latinos in certain portions of our counties, or in certain portions of our state. Some of our counties, our LGBTQ plus folk aren't comfortable with being out because it may be a threat to their existence. So having those caucuses makes sure that we have that representation, even when a lot of our counties, right, our county parties and our districts don't have that same level of representation. And that's why we actually have those caucuses. And I think that's what makes us unique. Because the other side just got rid of their D and E and I, recruitment. They recruited all them black folks to run as Republicans, and then they dropped them like hot potatoes. But that's not our concern. Dan, is there anything that we're missing that the folks need to know that I didn't ask?
I think just a little bit more. I'm not going to go through this document that we have on our website super in depth, but a couple of things to know if you are interested in running for state party chair, vice chair, secretary, or treasurer. The actual job descriptions, if you will, are in our rules. So if you're interested in seeing what those would need to be, you can go ahead and check that out. That's in Rule 15, which describes our state party structure. In addition, if you are interested in running for any of those offices, you do have to be nominated and seconded by a member of the state central committee.
Oh,
so if you... Yep, that is key. You're going to need to make sure that you have that. So really talking to those folks that we talked about before is going to be crucial in being able to move forward. That vote is going to be a public vote, March 15th. And then we just, like I said, we need to know your information that you are going to be running. You will, if you do get nominated and seconded, then you will have 3 minutes to speak. And then there will be time to take questions from the State Central Committee as well.
I love that. I don't think we mentioned it, and you just triggered it. If you want to run for county chair, when do you need to let somebody know?
So for county chair, it depends on the outgoing county chair. And I say outgoing county chair, some of these county chairs might run again, but that's just going to be the easiest language. So the outgoing county chair can set a filing deadline. If they do, then that is 10 days prior to the vote, which I believe is March 26th.
February 26th?
February 26th, yes, excuse me. The county is 15 days, and that's actually February 14th.
Okay.
The district one is 10 days, and that is February 26th. So county, February 14th. If the county chair wants to set that by February 14th, they have to have all of that information. The county chair is also able to take nominations on the floor if they so choose.
Oh, I didn't know that. I like that.
I think this is great information. So the cool thing is, you have a couple of months, about a month, to think about whether or not you want to be in party leadership. And then even still, depending on what level that you want to be in the party, you have a few more days to mull it over before you have to turn everything in. But if you have questions, right, is there an email, Dana, that somebody could email for questions, or, they heard this and they're like, okay, I'm not quite sure. Who can they contact?
Yep, you can email me. My email address is Dana, Dayna, at indems.org. And then I can answer your questions to the best of my ability. I will also note that if you have very technical questions, I will probably have to go to our rules committee to make sure that things are clarified. I am in the rules a lot, but the rules committee really knows the rules, and they might have to give just some additional clarification if it's something that we haven't encountered yet, or they might need to really find it in the rules that I haven't been able to find.
I love it. I love that you are so, accessible. I think that's great. And thank you for that. And thank you for an awesome job that you have done so far as our executive director of our state party. Like I said, the cooler Dana are getting it done. Your track record when you were up in Hamilton County has just transcended and just a smooth transition for you right into the executive director role. So I hope to continue to see you flourish there as well. But that's just my endorsement. Whoever becomes a state party chair, this is what I said. She's not echoing it. She's not even co-signing it. I just said it.
I thank you for that. I have enjoyed my time as executive director. I enjoyed my time when I was county chair in Hamilton County, and I'm still a precinct chair. So I'm still involved locally, as well as helping out the party and executing the vision that we have.
I love that. And your staff, and one thing it's helpful during reorg is to have some continuity as you bring in a new chair, vice chair, and a new central committee. It's very helpful to have the paid staff to have some consistency and some continuity. So something for y'all to think about as y'all, thinking about running for state party chair. Yeah, I said it.
Well, I know the staff appreciates the shadow.
Hey, listen, do what you do, right? I think it's so important that we know that regular people are involved. It's not some mysterious cabal in the back of a closet that's coming up with something. It's people who are giving their time, giving their service. Now, you are paid staff, but you could be using your talents in a whole lot of other places, making Google gobs of money doing private sector stuff if you wanted to. So I appreciate you in the position of service. Guys,
thank you.
Reorg. This is the year. 2025 is the year where we get together, we collaborate, we bring in all of our resources. The party is one set of resources. You guys know I will always champion the party because I always tell you guys there is power in the party. There's a power in this collective. You may not be a party person, but understand the power that's in us coming together, the resources that we can raise, and how we can collaborate together. Dana, this was awesome. I think this is a great way to get people started. Anything else? I want to make sure you get the last word on this.
No, I think, we are at a point in time where it's really exciting to see where we go next. Definitely do encourage you to read those rules that do detail out the positions and what we are asking for everyone to do, because like I said, it's more than a full-time job, and just want to make sure that you are prepared going into it. I know me, when I was a county chair, I knew that it was going to be a lot, but really getting into it and realizing it was definitely an adjustment. So I want people to approach this in as prepared a manner as they can be.
I love it. All right, guys. That is Dana Colbert, the executive director of our Indiana State Democratic Party, talking about reorg. I will include all the links in the feed today so that as she's talking about it, you can click on it and read the rules and things. But in the meantime, back to our regularly scheduled program. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Man, that was pretty cool, right? You have to admit, getting the rules and understanding how the process works. I know I read a lot of stuff. A lot of times I don't say nothing. But I be reading y'all's comments, and I read, when people are have their opinions about what the party gonna do here and how the party gonna do this. You can be the party. You can either complain about what's happening, or you could be a part of the solution. You know what I'm saying? I just be creeping. I don't have to comment on every one of y'all's posts and every one of y'all's, threads and tweets and whatever. Oh, did I just dead name? Anyway, my point is, if you don't like something and you think it could be better, why do you just sit around and complain about it? Why not go ahead and get involved? I included some links. And when I repost this on YouTube, there'll be more links. When I put it on Spotify and iTunes, the links will be there. But guys, if you want the party to be better, get involved. It really is that simple. Otherwise, what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? If you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and get into the fight, then what good are your complaints other than to bring a dark cloud on somebody that's actually trying to do something? And how is that helpful? It's not. Some of y'all think it's cool to just sit around and moan and groan and tear people down, or belittle them, or make whatever it is that they're doing feel like it's not significant enough because it doesn't align with what you're doing. Ain't that what they do to us? So get involved. You too can run for state party chair. That was something I learned. I thought I didn't know just anybody could do it. Now, trust me, we gonna vet you. Like she said, you got to get a nomination. We gonna vet you. But anybody can run. Anybody can run. Anybody can run for county party chair. Anybody can run for district chair. And anybody can run for state party chair and all the other offices at the executive level if you want to. You might as well. What else do we have to lose with you getting involved? We don't have no power in this state. What do you have to lose? Nothing. We only can gain as an organization if you decide to get involved. Bringing your talents. No excuses. No excuses. And again, like I said, if you're not a party person, there are lots of mad voters are out here getting it done. Democracy, Hoosiers for Democracy, out here getting it done. I ran into some folks at the State House, and I'm really excited because people want to get to work. They just need a little direction. Sometimes they just need to come together. But here's one little way that you can do it. Now, mind you, everybody can't be state party chair. But you still have to be willing to. And do you know on the Central Committee, the only paid person on the Central Committee is the state party chair? The vice chair, secretary, treasurer, district chairs, caucus chairs, county chairs, they're not paid. They're volunteers too. What? So come be a super volunteer. We're all doing the work. Just think though, oh my God, if we had 4 more people for every county, how it wouldn't be that much work on any of us. The more of us that get involved, that's less work that we have to do. But one thing that I'm hoping that whoever leads our party at whatever level, that we put as much energy focusing in on the people who typically are going to vote for us as we would people who are never going to vote for us. There is nothing wrong with reaching out to everybody, but if you don't talk to your base, and I stand 10 toes down in this, you cannot talk about, we could literally win statewide races with 5 counties. I know y'all don't want to believe that. I know people in rural Indiana be like, oh my God, you're always talking about urban and da-da. But look, There's 900,000 people in Indianapolis and Marion County alone. That's 1/6 of the state. The other 91 counties divvy up the other. One county has 1/6 of the population. And in that county, check this out, it has a 30% Black population. So whoever takes over the party, whoever runs for chair, whoever's on the central committee, if you guys don't buck up and start talking about the issues that matter specifically to Black people, why you out here chasing MAGA people who ain't never gonna vote for you, and you not gonna take care of the people who at 92% clip vote for you? All you gotta do is talk to them. All you gotta do is go knock on a door, visit a barbershop, go to a shopping mall. Well, don't go to a mall because ain't nobody there. All you gotta do is knock some doors, go to Black community events, avail yourself to a community who is literally their history is being erased right now. All you gotta do is go talk to them. And then when you get done with people in Marion County, go up to Lake County. That has the second largest Black population. But here's even what's crazier about Lake County. They have a huge Hispanic population. If you are afraid to talk about the issues that matter to Black and brown people, I know y'all look and y'all be like, well, Black people ain't but 9% of the state. I get that. I really do. The numbers don't lie. But we know if you don't turn out Marion County, you don't turn out Lake County, you don't turn out Allen County, you don't turn out Vanderburgh County, and you don't turn out St. Joe County, you're not winning. You can't win. All hope is gone. So be bold, Democrats. Be brave, Democrats. And go talk to Black people. And go talk about Black people issues. If not, we're going to keep losing. We're going to keep losing. And I know. I get it all the time. People be like, why we got to talk about, we don't talk about rural Indiana. I love rural Indiana. And I am down with supporting rural Indiana because most of the policies that are coming out of our state house are detrimental to rural communities. But if you want to win, I'm sorry, if a county only has an 8,000 person turnout, how many counties does it take to equal what you can get in Marion County? It's a numbers game, people. We have to know how to count. It's frustrating because it really is simple. Talk to the people, see what they need, find out how you can help them. Talk about the policies they'd like to see. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I will not have a show next week. I talk about all this good stuff that I get to do at Act Blue. It doesn't stop. I have some more presentations that are coming up. But the joy is teaching people how to digital fundraise. So if you're an organization in Marion County, if you're a nonprofit, if you're a candidate, if you're a party, and you want Act Blue to come and talk to you about digital fundraising, holla at your girl. We'll set it up and we can make it happen because I want you to be empowered. Now is the time to build your coffers. Now is the time to stack your chips because you're not going to be spending any money on elections this year. So you stack your chips. You still ask your donors to be committed. Talk about what you want to do. Put a plan together, right? And stack your chips. In fact, if you would like, you could come support Indiana Stonewall Democrats. We got a fundraiser coming up in February. The link is in the comments. So come join us and help us and become a sponsor. Tell them Dana sent you. Indiana's Own told me to come get a ticket. It's always a good time. When the queer people get together, we have a good time. It's a party. We always have a good time. But I won't be back next week, and I'm going to reach out to Mary, and I'm going to reach out to My Labor Radio, and make sure that we get some more episodes out. I saw that there was another network that dropped. I can't remember the name of it. So there's more people out here talking about it so we can get different voices. Might get tired of listening to mine. I get it. So there's more voices out here. There's more left-leaning voices. Who's Left is one of them. I know that one. My guy Scott's doing that one. But there's more of us out here talking about what needs to be done. In the meantime, I'm going to be whispering in everybody's ear about let's organize. Let's put some plans together. By April, I want to have a conversation with the players. And I'm talking about in all 9 districts about how we can make a difference in our state. Because it's going to take all of us to get it done. It ain't going to just happen because we want it to happen. We got to make it happen. Y'all feel me? All right. Hey, I really do appreciate everyone that tuned in and listened tonight. I love doing the live show, but you can always catch me on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes if you missed the live show. Okay. But I am going to say, stay safe. Take care of your mental health. Because the crazy is coming out. Somebody lift up the rock and all the maggots came out. I got to stop doing that. People keep telling me I'm dehumanizing people. I need to stop doing that. I'm going to be better. I'm a work in progress. I really am. But anyway, I love doing this work. I love talking to the people who want to make changes in communities. I love people who want to write policy that improves people's lives. All right. Indiana's own Dana Black, turn left. I will holler at you next time. Peace.
Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions. Executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by www.bensound.com.